So, some great news for this week. I've dropped my camera, my good camera, my Canon that I always record with. Last week I was out here cutting some metal. I knocked it off my bench, it hit the concrete floor, and now the mic don't work. So, a $200 plus camera with no audio. Freaking nice. So, we're shooting this video on my Android smartphone. So the audio is not the greatest, the video is alright, it's nothing compared to the Canon. I guess we're going to deal with that until we figure out what we can do with that camera. Hoorah for everybody. Can't wait for that. Let's get into this video. Today we're going to talk about the top 5 tools that I bought from Harbor Freight that I either don't use at all or use so little that I probably shouldn't have bought them. So, the first tool we're going to talk about isn't really a tool, but back when I first got my welder, I got these sleeves, okay? And these go on your arms up to, from your wrist to up past your elbow. And when I first got them, I used them like one time, and they just became too much of a hassle. I ended up buying a Hobart shirt, like a button up the front shirt the other week, and that's way better than these sleeves. Like I said, I used these sleeves like one time, and they've laid on the bottom of my welder for the last year and a half. Pretty much, I mean, they weren't that expensive, but I don't use them at all. Probably should not have bought them. Number 2 on my racket of tools that I shouldn't have bought from Harbor Freight, but I did anyways, are these stubby little wrenches that are about as worthless as a tit on a bull. And I got a whole set of them. I don't know. I got a couple of them here. The rest of them's in my toolbox or laying on the floor. Or who knows where they are. I don't know where they are. I don't use them. I'm sure that certain people, certain mechanics buy these and they use them. But these things basically are worthless to me. I've never even used these once. I bought them. They laid in my toolbox for a long time. Like I said, they got knocked around. I don't even know where the whole set is. I got a couple. I got a 1/2 inch here, and I got a 7/16 and a 9/16 and a 5/8 and a 3/8 right here. And I've never used them, and I probably never will use them. They weren't that expensive. I mean, they are Harbor Freight. They're the Pittsburgh Pro brand or whatever. They don't say Pittsburgh on it. It says CRV, but they're the Pittsburgh brand. And yeah, they're pretty much worthless to me. I don't know. I don't even know why I bought them. I don't know if I was like needing them for a certain project. But, you know, if you're talking about a 3/8 wrench that's that big, I mean, what are you going to put on that to break? I mean, really. This is a 3/8, yeah. I mean, it's a small nut, I realize that, but you got no leverage or nothing. You know, the 9/16's a little bit bigger. Pretty much worthless to me. So, the Stubby Pittsburgh Pro wrench set from Harbor Freight. Another tool that I've never used and I probably never will use. Number 3. So this is the tool that I bought, and it is a ratchet that has a flexible head. See that? And I got this 2 years ago, 1.5 years, 2 years ago, and it's still in the packaging. Never took it out of the packaging, never even used it, have no idea how good it works. I mean, it works, naturally. I mean, it is a Pittsburgh Pro. Of course it's going to work. But, never took it out of the packaging, never cut it open, never did nothing. It lays in there. I got a bunch of ratchets in my toolbox, and it just lays in there in the toolbox. And if I probably took the packaging off, I'd probably use it. But I got like 2 or 3 ratchets that are my go-to ratchet. I got that extendable ratchet, the 3/8 1/4 inch extendable that extends out to like 18 inches. That's like my number 1 go-to. I got that other socket set, that through socket set that I take and pretty much use on any project just because it's a ratchet, it's an extension, and it's basically SAE and metric sockets on it, so it's good to go. So this thing just lays in there, doesn't really get used for anything, and you know, I might just take it out of the packaging and I might use it, but this is probably a tool that I should not have bought, and it seems like it'd be a pretty good tool too. I don't care for flex heads either, that's another thing. The 3/8 flex head ratchet from Pittsburgh Pro, Harbor Freight. A tool that I bought 2 years ago, and it's still in the packaging. I probably should take it back and get my money back, you know. Just walk in and say, hey, can I get my money back for this? I never used it. I mean, they could tell I didn't use it. The package is not even cut. So that's it. That's my 3rd tool from Harbor Freight that I shouldn't have bought. Number 4. So this is the 4th tool that I bought from Harbor Freight, and it's not a Pittsburgh Pro. It is this paint gun. It's a central pneumatic 20-ounce high volume low pressure, gravity fed spray gun. And this is actually a pretty good gun. This one I haven't used. I had one before that I used a little bit. I didn't use it a lot. This thing is pretty cheap. It's like $9, $10, maybe $12. And for the money, I guess it's not bad. But I bought this thing. I don't know what I bought it for. I can't remember why I bought it. But you can see the dust laying on it, on the top of it, the dust on the side. I basically bought it, brought it out of the box, looked it over, threw it back in one of them boxes back there, and this was like 3 years ago. And I've never used this gun. Like I said, I bought this one before, probably like 7 years ago, and I used it till I just didn't clean it one time, and then I went out the next day and it was just full of paint or lacquer or clear or whatever, and I just said, it ain't worth cleaning. It's only like $8, so I just tossed it in the trash. A couple years later, I bought this one and never used it. So it's not a bad gun. I've used them before. I wouldn't go out and expect to get a $3,000 or $4,000 paint job with it, but if you're just spraying stuff around the house or spraying a trailer or something, it's not bad. It's not a bad $12 spend. Like I said, bought it, didn't use it. It's not a bad deal. But anyways, that's what it is. A 20-ounce central pneumatic, high volume, low pressure, gravity fed spray gun. So we are up to the number everybody's waiting on, number 5. This is a ratcheting wrench from Pittsburgh Pro, of course, Harbor Freight. And I bought the SAE set, and I bought the metric set. And I come home and I hung them on my wall by my tools behind the camera over there. These ones run 5/16 through 3/4 on the SAE, and it runs 8mm through 17mm. Of course, it skips a couple, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 17. And 5/16, 3/8, 7/16 half inch, 9/16, 5/8, and 3/4. Like I said, I hung them on the wall back there, and they've just been collecting dust for the last 1.5 years. They seem like they're a good tool, but I never used them. I always grab a regular wrench if I'm going to use a wrench. I think I might have tried to use them once and didn't care for them. They're basically flat, where most wrenches have an angle on them. But anyways, I bought both of these. They're not real expensive. Hung them on the wall, like I said. Never used them, I don't think, once, and they've been collecting dust. So that is the 7-piece ratcheting wrench set, and I bought both of them, SAE metric. I did not use them, and probably never will use them. Okay, guys, so that is it. That is my top 5 tools from Harbor Freight that I bought that I don't use, except I got a bonus for you. I got one more. Real quick, one more, and that is the Pittsburgh Pro torque wrench. And not a regular torque wrench. This is the inch-pound torque wrench, not the foot-pound torque wrench. And there it is. And I bought this for a project. I was changing a water pump on my Trailblazer, and it required inch-pounds instead of foot-pounds. I didn't have this at the time I put it on, so I put the water heater or the water pump on the truck and just cranked it down without using a torque wrench. I went out and bought this and figured I would use it, and that was 2 years ago, and I have never used it. I didn't have to change a water pump again, and that was the only thing that I ever changed that required inch-pounds. So I bought this thing. It's brand new. I've never even had it out of the box. This is the first time I think I've opened it. Maybe when I first brought it home, I opened it, but it doesn't seem like, I don't know, it seems kind of flimsy. Man, look at that. That's definitely spins, and the top of it kind of cranks around a little bit. You know, it's a Pittsburgh Pro. What do you expect? But it is inch-pounds, so you're not be cranking hundreds of foot-pounds. It's inch-pounds. That is going to do it for my video. My top 5 tools from Harbor Freight that I don't use or used very little. Okay? Go into the comment section. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about these tools. Tell me what you think about this video. Tell me what you think about this crappy audio that I'm getting on my cell phone, because I know it's not near as good as my Canon sitting over there. Kind of a little bit mad that I broke that. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet. We'll have to wait and see. There are links in the description below to Amazon. Click one of my links when you go to Amazon. Go over there, buy whatever you want to buy. Help me out. It don't cost you anything more, but I will get commission off of the sale. Anything else? I think that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Like I said, go to the comment section, like this video, share this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, get my subscriber number up there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.